Hey, Scott Luton here with you on Supply Chain Now. I'm joined again by my esteemed co-host, Christine Barnhart. Christine, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, Scott?
Wonderful. We've had some of the best conversations here at CHAINge, and we're going to have another great one. And folks, if you don't know by now, CHAINge is the new annual event, reinvigorated, powered by our friends at ASCM and many, many other entities. Great event. And we're joined here by the one and only Gerald Jackson, Vice President, Product Strategy, Supply Chain Management Solutions, Evangelist, all with Oracle. Gerald, how you doing?
I'm doing great today. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Outstanding. It's great to I think we've met each other at different events, but it's the first time in a long time I've had a chance to pick your brain, so thanks for spending some time with us.
My pleasure.
All right, so let's just establish on the front end, Christine, before we get into some of his perspective. So you call Seattle home, right?
That's right.
And you're still an Atlanta Falcons fan, is that right?
Yeah, when I was growing up as a skateboarder on the streets of Atlanta,
Okay.
actually one of my buddies, his dad was friends with the photographer for the Falcons, and I wasn't big into football then, but I got this starter jacket from back in the day that's got the big Falcons on the back, and ever since then I was like, this is going to be my team.
All right, so Gerald just unlocked
I'm
a
telling
key
you.
memory, because in the late 80s and throughout the 90s, a starter jacket was really cool. All right.
And all the young people watching this are going to be like,
What
what the
the
hell
world?
is this?
All right,
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
Google it. That's right. All right. So did you have a starter jacket?
I didn't. I think
did?
that was a man thing.
Do you have an 8-ball jacket?
No, but I did have parachute pants.
Okay.
All right, and members only jacket, I bet too. All right, so Gerald, great again to see you here. Man, a lot of movers and shakers here at CHAINge this week in Columbus, Ohio. I want to start, everybody out there, except maybe three, because we've got the smartest audience in all the global supply chain, know Oracle, right? But tell us about your role there.
Yeah, so I'm part of the Cloud Supply Chain Solutions team, and we have a very comprehensive supply chain package. I won't bore you with all the details there,
Okay.
but my role as a VP in product strategy and driving evangelism is to work with some of our C-level customers, analysts, and folks just out in the general industry to understand where we're taking the product.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a two-way relationship that I have, where I get to talk about all the great innovations we're doing, how it can help people with their supply chains, but also I'm listening. I'm listening about what are the challenges that supply chain leaders are really facing, and I take that feedback back to the product so that we're making sure that we're continuously relevant.
Gerald, I love that. And Christine, we need a whole bunch more smart folks like Gerald listening to the
Well,
market. Huh?
exactly. And, you know, I don't think he does a great job of tooting his own horn, because his background and his pedigree is amazing, which is what makes him such a great leader, I think, in this role at Oracle. I think you were at Microsoft when we met through ASCM, actually, maybe a decade ago. But I mean, you've worked for some heavy hitters. You've really had an impact as a practitioner in the space as well. So talk to me about, like, you know, Scott says we're in the golden age of supply chain. I'm not sure I agree, but we're going to go with it. What are some of the things like that you're excited about now that you've seen change over the last 20 some odd years?
Yeah, well, I would have to agree with Scott.
You think
that
we're in the
we
golden age?
We're in the golden age, and this is why. Over my career, I've just been attracted to really hard problems, and I've been able to work on several what I call mission impossibles. Stand up a factory in a couple of months, build out a whole new supply chain network for a business, and usually these are done out of necessity. And so when you've got big challenges, you're going to get innovation. And I don't think anybody's going to disagree that we have a lot of big challenges facing us right now, and that really makes it the golden age.
I mean, I do agree that necessity is the mother of all invention, right? Like, I do agree with that. I don't know. I feel like we're just scratching the surface, and I don't know that I feel like we've built momentum yet.
That's a great call out. That's a great call out. Because innovation and evolution, it's not like 10, 20 years ago where it kind of crawls. It is moving.
Yeah, that's the other part of the golden age. Innovation, technology, business models are accelerating like I've never seen in my 30-year career, right? So what's possible today, we couldn't even dream of 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So that just makes it an amazing space to be in.
You know, that is such a great, two quick thoughts that come to my mind as y'all share this. And I'd love to get both of y'all to respond. number one, the rate of change. We can't afford to have simulations and scenarios take a month to take place, because by the time you get your answers, it may be completely irrelevant, right?
It is probably irrelevant.
Right. And there's some of my favorite use cases of leaders out there completely changing, taking 30-day processes and moving them to less than 30 minutes. Love that. And then number two, what you were saying, what's in our blind spot. You could argue that our blind spot might be a little bit, just a smidge smaller than 20 years ago, but there's still a blind spot that we all have. And to your point, we don't even know what might be in the art of the possible 2 or 3 years from now, right? It may be, to your point, 2 or 3 years or 10 years from now might be the true golden age of supply chain tech. Who knows? Okay, here's a question here.
All right.
I love one of your monikers. The supply chain strategist with soul. I love that. So you have to do some singing for us later on. Can you do that? Okay.
He is a jazz fan, by the way.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's more my daughter.
Okay. Are you the agent?
I'm trying to be, but she's going to fire me pretty soon.
All right. So in this ongoing chapter of chaos and complexities and calamities even, what are some of the ways that industry leaders are finding more success, especially from a supply chain strategy standpoint, where they're finding not only success, but harmony? I got to tie it back to your moniker.
No, and I'm gonna pick up on that a little bit, because I really do believe that the best supply chain leaders and organizations that I've had a chance to work with operate like high-performing jazz bands.
Okay, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if you've ever listened to jazz from like maybe 1950s, 58, 61, golden age, what you find is some of the greatest musicians of their time. They're all masters of their instrument, masters of their craft. And some of the greatest iconic albums operate like greatest iconic supply chains, where you've got a leader that shares the vision, like Miles Davis. He would say, hey, look, here's a couple of melodies that we're gonna work with, and here's a few sketches on some notes and harmonies, but I'm not gonna give you every note to play. But we're gonna make some music.
Yes.
And so when I say go, we go. And so the greatest teams are like the greatest jazz bands, where they're listening to each other.
Right.
They're sharing information back and forth. They know when to solo, they know when to support. And that's what I see in some of the greatest supply chain leaders out there.
Christine, I'll let you comment first. I love that.
I'm at a loss of words, and that doesn't happen very often, does it?
Well, what I heard there in your description, you've got, have you all seen the new Superman movie?
Yeah.
Okay, it's awesome.
I haven't seen it.
It doesn't, but it was missing one thing.
Henry Cavill.
But a fully throated version of the Superman march. It's a triumphant, it's a moving piece. But it's different than what you're describing, because it's highly, highly choreographed. Every note is there's no riffing left and right, which is a hallmark of jazz, kind of to your point. And so tying that back to supply chain, where, what's your last day? That minute by minute worked out just like you thought it would.
It doesn't, and I think that's the beauty of his analogy, right? Is that yes, there's some orchestration, but it's not so scripted that you can't kind of run with it. And that's what supply chains have to do, because we don't know what's going to happen in an hour, heck less what's going to happen in a day or a year or 10 years.
But when that moment comes up, you better be ready.
Exactly.
That's right. I love the jazz analogy, man. And by the way, 2 thumbs up on the new Superman movie?
Yeah.
Me too. My son's a big Batman. Ben is a big Batman fan. We always talk about Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
He was thrilled with it. And so that tells me there's a reason behind its box office smash. Let's get back to supply chain. We're talking about autonomous AI, agent-driven supply chains.
So I know you have a couple of presentations that you're doing here and some panels, but really excited about your autonomous AI agent discussion. What is it you want people to walk away from in your talk?
Yeah, there's 2 key points, and I'm going to figure out how to weave it together in the talk, but I'll just share it to you plainly.
Sure.
Number 1, agentic AI is different than the AI that we were working with 5-10 years ago, around anomaly detection, building models, and all this heavy analytics.
Yep.
Agentic AI starts with basically pre-built algorithms, pre-built large language models. So it's really about process reengineering. It's an operational productivity challenge. It's not an analytics problem.
Right.
And so what I'm finding is when I talk to companies around the world, they're still thinking that it's an analytics problem. They're thinking they've got to build their own models. They don't. They've just got to be masters of their own processes so they can figure out where the agents can help them drive productivity. So the second thing is, the key skill for deriving value from AI agents is like process engineering skills. It's like lean skills.
I love it.
And that's not typically said by supply chain software guys.
Right.
But that really is the key to getting a return on your investment.
It has driven me crazy for a long time that there is not more engineering background within supply chain. I'm an engineer. I think about problems differently. I think about ecosystems differently than what somebody with more of like that business background,
Right.
where they tend to think very linearly. And I'm like, that's just not that's not the age that we're in now.
Yes, so true. There's something to be said, and I appreciate linear thinking, but to your point, oh man, that's an easy day.
Yeah.
Linearly, that's a word.
We didn't realize how good we had it
Seriously,
20 years ago.
Man. I want to follow up. We're going to talk about a really cool give forward element to your journey here in a second. But I want to go back to AI for a minute. Get you both of y'all to respond to some research that the World Economic Forum published here recently.
Yeah.
They surveyed a bunch of chief people officers, right, all around the world, not just supply chain, but across industries. And AI adoption naturally came back as a big concern, a top risk. But within AI, they identified two in particular, their top two concerns when it comes to AI adoption. One is that the people within their organizations won't learn fast enough to be able to keep up, right? But then a close second one was the people in any organization would be overly reliant on AI. And it really represented kind of a bookend of the AI age we're in. Because there's a middle ground where we need to really leverage AI for its superpowers, but then leverage the beautiful human element for our own superpowers.
Right.
Your quick comment on that.
Well, I really see it as an augmenter than a replacer, first of all. Right? It's sort of like a calculator. Right? I wasn't around when they brought calculators and replaced the slide rule.
Me and you both.
Right. But I do remember what my professors told me, that there was concern there'd be an over-reliance on using calculators. But what ends up happening, we can just do a lot more faster.
Yeah.
Right.
We all become sort of cyborgs, if you will, enhanced by AI, not replaced. And that's the way I think about it.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Comments?
No, I 100% when you were asking the question was thinking about my calculus teacher in high school that had a slide rule in a shadow box. It's the only slide rule I've ever seen. Because we're about the same age, and even when I got to engineering school, I bought a fancy, Texas Instruments TI calculator to do, integrals and derivatives and stuff. But and you know what? Here I am, 30 years later. I didn't need to understand a slide rule, right? Like I embraced the technology that was available to me at the time, and
love it.
So yeah.
So it poses the question we don't have to answer here today, but from a supply chain perspective, what else should join that T-square or slide rule in a shadow box? There's lots of answers to that question. I bet we'll get to it maybe next episode. Spreadsheets might
please.
All right, so I'm going to change gears here. Gerald, one thing I really admire about you and your family is your dedication to giving forward. And I was reading a little bit about what you and your family have been doing kind of within the family right now, helping those that are in need from a variety of perspectives, especially in those underrepresented portions of our society.
Right.
So twofold here. Can you tell us what you're doing and maybe the why behind it?
Right. And
I think you've got maybe some next steps that would allow others that love what you're doing to help support it.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with the why. So I grew up as an underprivileged, I call it a poor smart kid, right? And it was only through the generosity and inclusiveness and support of others that I was able to get on a track to where my kids grow up with privilege. And so it was important to me as my kids were getting into their adult years to understand how do you use your privilege for the benefit of others? How do you adopt a service mentality as part of your leadership development? And I didn't want to leave it to chance. And so I had the opportunity to do so. So we started some small businesses, and my daughter ran the coffee shop. I got a UPS store, and we were very intentional about hiring folks that were smart, maybe didn't get a huge opportunity to go to college,
Right.
and bring them into the family and run the business like an extension of our family. And
Chills.
the goal is to take that and then develop sort of a foundation around it, right? The profits go to fund scholarships and really pay it forward and expand it out. Once we transition to foundation, we'll give an opportunity for others to help us sort of grow this.
It's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
We need more Gerald Jacksons.
We do need more Gerald Jacksons. I agree with you.
Okay, and then maybe what's next? There may be an opportunity down the road as y'all kind of think about the next chapter for other individuals or organizations to help support what you're doing.
Yeah, we're thinking about, definitely pivoting it to be less for profit, more of a foundation. But my kids are also very interested in sports and music. So there's an opportunity for maybe to create some sort of a music academy or a sports function or something like that. But it's really great to just hear my kids as they get into their adult age being so creative about how to help others. It's really warming my heart.
Oh man, and not leaving it to chance as you shared.
Yeah.
Being very intentional about it. All right, your quick comment on any of that there, Christine.
I mean, I think for me, and like I said, Gerald and I have known each other for a while, met through ASCM.
Right.
I'm not surprised at the great work that he does, because even then he was lending his voice to try to help ASCM be better and do a better job, right? And that's, I think, for him being, an evangelist at Oracle, it's a great platform, because I'm pretty sure you and I agree on this, which is I
hope
think
we do.
supply chains are what will make the world a better place.
Yes.
Supply chains are what raise all boats.
That's right.
Supply chains are what pull people out of poverty. Supply chains are what allow us to create the goods that we need without doing damage to the planet. And I'm just really impressed with the work that Gerald's doing.
Well said, Christine. Well said, man. Okay, so I just want to let you know, Gerald, we have, we do a lot of webinars at Supply Chain Now.
Yeah.
And we have a warm-up period where the audience comes on the platform as we get ready to go, right?
Yeah.
It's about a 15-minute, we call it the frozen zone,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
We play jazz music.
Oh, all right.
Like, I can't afford Motown and some other established yet, so hopefully soon. But it's very generic jazz music. So if your daughter enjoys, it's got some tracks, I would love to promote her and her band as part of our webinar program. And we'll have to strike a deal since you're her agent after today. How's that sound?
That sounds like a plan.
Awesome.
I'm in.
Okay. All right. So Gerald Jackson, you're here in Columbus today. You're probably in Vegas next week or coming up soon. You're traveling around the globe that is Global Supply Chain. How can folks track you down and connect with you?
Well, the best way to connect with me is through LinkedIn. I'm always looking at the invites and questions and messages. So if you're interested in what I'm doing, or you just want to collaborate, talk, chat, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Outstanding. It's just that easy.
It is.
And Christine Barnhart, the Supply Chain Whisperer, I think we can find you on LinkedIn too, right?
You can find me on LinkedIn. Yep.
Outstanding. Not shying away from the important issues of our day for sure. Gerald Jackson, Vice President, Product Strategy, Supply Chain Management Solutions, Evangelist, all with Oracle. Thanks for being here, Gerald.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
You bet. And Christine Barnhart, man, these have been some great conversations. I feel like you've already given me a couple of key takeaways, but I think we both can. My favorite of this conversation with Gerald has got to be the jazz analogy.
I love it. I think it's great.
It is. It is so on point. All right, big thanks to Christine for joining and facilitating interviews here at CHAINge 2025, newly reinvigorated event powered by our friends at ASCM and the community that surrounds it. So folks, stick around as we continue our coverage. And whatever you do, take something you heard here from Gerald and Christine, put it in action, deeds not words. And with that said, do good, give forward, be the change that is needed. And we'll see you next time right back here on Supply Chain Now. Thanks, everybody.